Just to differentiate a bit more between the Preadamics and the Adamics, what we're talking about here is two types of human that have coexisted together for many, many thousands of years. The difference between us is so slight that you really can't tell. We are born into the same families, but we are of different orientation. You could have a sister who's an Adamic and yourself be a Preadamic, or the other way around. A parent, a sibling, a child, however you want to look at it. Because we have been existing together for so long in the same world, in the same families, the genetics have been twisted up and intermixed to the extent that it's difficult to tell them apart except through their actions. The esoteric side of it speaks to the fact that the Preadamics only have the lower chakra centers developed. That would be from the root all the way up to the solar plexus, while those who are Adamics have the higher centers developed from the heart chakra all the way up to the crown. You can really tell the difference when you're looking at media, when you're looking at any type of mass psychology, and you see that people run across a spectrum of psychologies, right? You have people on the far end of the spectrum, the psychopathic end, and you have people on the near end of the spectrum, the empathic end. And of course, again, I'm talking to those who are like me, who are empathic in nature, who are Adamic in their orientation. Heart-centered people can often determine who is who after a long period of examination. That's because once you see someone for a while, you get to know who they are, what their patterns of behavior are, and what their thought processes are. You're also able to see what type of person they are by what they value most. The people who value the material life more so are Preadamic in nature, meaning that they are centered around their lower chakras, the root chakra through the solar plexus chakra, which means that they are more oriented to the world around us. They're the ones who are interested in the beautiful cars and the rich lifestyles, and they're the ones who you talk to, and it's difficult to get to any deeper discussion with them. In many cases, you can't get to the deeper discussion with them because they cannot process information the same way that you can or I can. They do not have a holistic method of thinking. They do not have a synthetic method of thinking by which they can take disparate information from different sources and draw it all together and come to conclusions, grander conclusions about underlying patterns. They think generally along a linear path in a hierarchical development type of way, while those of us who are more empathic in nature think in a more holistic, more circular way of thinking. They're the ones who think more in a time-based fashion, while we are the ones who think more in a emotion, feeling / existence, being in the now type fashion. They're also the ones who control the world, who are the materialists who attain the highest positions. You see them in your jobs as the managers who are not able to really empathize with the workers. They're the ones who make the decisions to fire people really fast and have no conscience about it. While the empathic ones are the ones who are generally the first fired and the ones who are all butthurt about it because, the feelings are generally in control, and many empaths don't really control the way that they feel because, first of all, they don't know that they're empaths. And so they don't know that it can be controlled, that you can create shields around you in order to protect you from the depredations of those who are closer to the psychopathic or pre-Adamic end of the spectrum. Why are we here on this planet together? Well, if you have been raised in a Christian tradition, you know that Jesus has a parable called the parable of the sower, in which he speaks of a farmer who has a field, and in that field some weeds have grown up with his wheat, right? They call it tares in the Bible, right? Tares is the weeds. And they say that the wheat and the tares have to stay together until the time of the harvest, at which point they would be separated. Well, the wheat stands for the Adamics, the tares stands for the Preadamics. We are together in this now, and we will not be separated until the time of the harvest. If you watch media a lot, movies, TV shows, whatever you want to look at, anime, it all talks about this division in the human race. It's everywhere. Once you are awakened to it, you see it in everything. And you understand that this is the greatest division in humanity. It's not race, it's not gender. It is this division between those who are Preadamics versus those who are Adamics. Those who are heart-centered versus those who are not. It's a secret because those who are Preadamics, who are psychopathic in nature, control the world. And so they don't want people to generally know that this is the difference that needs to be highlighted because they want to stay in control. Once we are aware of this, it will cause a great schism in the human family, and perhaps that is what we are seeing happening right now. The splitting of the worlds.